What's up, Crosspoint? It's Jeremy, lead pastor. Wanted to update you on my recent trip to Africa to check out all that God is doing through the generosity of Crosspoint, through your giving, through our giving together and our partnership with different ministries on the continent of Africa. Traveling over to Africa is quite an undertaking, as many of you probably know. We partner with two ministries in particular in a couple of different areas of Africa. The one we've talked about for probably 13, 14, 15 years here at Crosspoint is our partnership with people in Congo through the Global Methodist Church. This is where our Africa Advent offerings have gone all these years. You've heard us talk about this so many times over the years, building church buildings that immediately attract people, become community centers, giving away Bibles in the native language of the pastors, giving pastors bicycles that become like pickup trucks almost in their community, ambulances in a lot of ways, but also giving away motorcycles that are an even bigger game changer to the presiding elders that are over certain districts. I can't even describe to you how bad the roads are in certain places in Africa. It's hard travel everywhere. So motorcycles are key to getting around to different parts and equipping the pastors and equipping the churches for these presiding elders who are overseeing certain districts. So we give away those motorcycles, we train pastors, and we've been doing that for years over there. We've given away medicine, we've given away food, just all the things that we've been doing over a decade plus in the Congo to make a kingdom impact. So we went to the Congo and we checked that out. We also went to Uganda to see our newest mission partner in Africa, Favor of God Ministries. Many of you may remember Carol Ward and Terry Goodman, who came to our church last fall. Carol preached. It was a powerful time of ministry that she had at our church, a powerful time of prayer the next day. Carol is an amazing, just person of God, but also a powerful missionary. Terry is right alongside of her. And so we wanted to go check out what God is doing, actually get our eyes on what God is doing through them in Northern Africa that is largely Muslim dominated. And so it's hard work. We spent a week in Uganda with Favor of God Ministries, checking all that out with a small team. And then myself and one of our videographers went to Congo and checked out everything that we're doing there. I want to start with Uganda. We got to Uganda and flew into the southern part to Entebbe and then drove 7 hours up to the northern part to a town called Gulu. Favor of God has sort of three different bases that they operate out of. Northern Uganda, where we were, South Sudan, which is right above Uganda, and then also Chad is another base for Favor of God. And then they're in 9 or 10 other countries with missionaries there. It is one of the most impressive mission ministries I've ever personally seen. And so much of what they're already doing fits in perfectly with what we've been doing in the Congo and our heartbeat as a church. It's almost like hard to believe that all of this could actually be true. And so I wanted to personally go and see it so that I could come back to you and report on it. Their organization is unbelievable. They have a procurement department. This is just in Uganda that gets all their supplies, a hospitality department that takes care of all their visitors and all the different food that they serve at all their different schools and locations, a security department. They have a vehicle department that takes care of their fleet of vehicles and drivers that drive you everywhere. Just in Gulu, they have 2 primary schools and a boarding high school. They thought they'd have 300 people at this high school that's a boarding school. They have 500 students. It's unbelievable. Someone's over that. Someone's over their village learning centers. Someone's over their portable Bible schools where they train up missionaries. Someone's over their women's empowerment department. They have a finance department, an accounting department, an IT department. I can tell you every dollar we give to them goes straight to winning people to Christ and discipling people in Northern Africa. It is truly impressive. Every morning, 5 days a week, their staff gets together for 2 hours and worships and prays. We got to be a part of that. It was one of the biggest privileges I had when I was there to be a part of that. And then from noon to 2, they open it up to the community, and they'll have several hundred people there worshiping and praying. They see miracles happen there. They see people give their life to Christ. Many times they'll go from there and do street evangelism and pray for people and win people to Christ. Those houses of prayer are really incredible. We heard many testimonies, specifically from some of the boys and the young men that were just so inspiring, the life change that's happening. They have every village where they go, they'll go and they'll show the Jesus film, win people to Christ, and they'll start a church. So we're talking about huts, villages with huts, where they go in and they build this church building and dedicate it, and it immediately grows. And from that church, they'll start a school. If there's not one within 5 kilometers, they use a program called Roots to Fruits, where they train up these kids, a curriculum. And then they start a women's empowerment program. It's a 3-year program where they teach these women microfinance and give them 2 pigs to start a business. And we saw a couple different pigsties. One of them had 9 pigs, one of them had 13 pigs. And they sell these pigs, they breed these pigs, and it provides income for their family for a whole year. One lady sold her pigs and bought a restaurant. And in that restaurant, her family lives in the back. It's become their house. And she operates the restaurant out of the front. It's just unbelievably impressive how they're empowering women in a culture where that doesn't always happen. They have portable Bible schools when they win people to Christ. They start these churches, some people feel called to ministry, and they send them off to 3 or 4 months of portable Bible school where they get trained up to go be a missionary out in the bush to unreached people. That's happening all over in different countries. So it was just an unbelievable ministry. So many incredible things that are happening through favor of God. I highly recommend them to you. We're planning to take a medical mission team over there next summer. And so if you're interested in dentistry or any kind of general medicine, you'll be taken care of, and you'll be making a tremendous impact wherever it is that you go over there. So much more that they're doing over there. That just gives you a little bit of a snippet of some of it. Then we went to the Congo, and every time we go to the Congo, I'm impressed not just with the ministry that happens and the work that happens, but the people who are there. These are people who are heroes of the faith. They have stood on the truth of the scripture and the authority of scripture, and it's unbelievable to see what God has done there. For instance, we went to one community called Kamina, where the presiding elder who's over that whole area started a church. He started it in his home, and they just said when they get to 70 people, they're going to start another church. And they've started 6 churches in Kamina over the past couple of years. And now God is providing for them. On behalf of our conference in the Global Methodist Church and our church, I was able to provide salaries for those presiding elders, which, by the way, that's $50 a month. That's their salary. And we were able to pay their salary for a year. So that was a really neat moment for me. I was able to train 90 pastors over the course of a couple of days and learn from them and be inspired by the amount of churches they're planting. We have a training center over there where we send pastors. We saw that. We stayed the night there. They've planted over 100 churches all over the Congo. And so that's super impressive what they're doing. These people are just so committed to the gospel. Of course, we're still building church buildings there, dedicated a few different church buildings. We saw around 10 churches that Crosspoint has been a part of building those buildings all over the southern Congo. We were able to fly on a little 15, 16 passenger airplane. Little, dicey at times, landing on grass fields, things like that, and see different churches that we've been a part of building. A new thing that they're doing there is they're partnering with the government to where they, again, like Favor, where they plant a church, or we build a church building and they plant a church. They are starting a school, and the pastor is one of the teachers of the school, gets paid by the government, that pays his salary, enables his family to be there, and also them to do ministry there. Everywhere I went, I told them about a church that loves them and is praying for them and is with them over in America. And they would loudly cheer and clap. We were able to give away 2 motorcycles while I was there, 21 bicycles to these pastors who are graduating the training center, 100 Bibles. We saw 2 different schools that Crosspoint is a part of building in this new initiative that's taking place there. It's just so inspiring, and it's all because of our generosity in the heart of this church and the partnership of the heroes of the faith over there that are advancing the gospel. Also, when you go over there, we've talked about this many times, we go there to check on what we do and make sure it's all happening the way we're being told, and it always is. But we also get given so many gifts. Maybe some of y'all saw this on my Facebook post as well. While we were in the Congo, we broke a record for the amount of gifts we were given. I'm going to read this so I don't miss anything. We were given 4 goats, 11 chickens, a pig, a lamb, 2 ducks, 2 pigeons, 25 kilograms of rice, 80 liters of palm oil, a shirt, loads of pineapples, 2 carvings, and a bag of termites that were cooked. I did try termites and caterpillars. I don't recommend. It reminds me of what Paul wrote about the Macedonian churches, that out of their poverty welled up rich generosity. As generous as this church has been to them, they have given out of thankfulness with the generosity that they have, and it's inspiring. What I want to tell you overall from the Congo and from Uganda, Favor of God Ministries, is communities are being changed, cultures are being changed, and eternities are being changed. And I'm just so proud to be a part of a church that's not just a part of making a huge local impact. At all our campuses, that's happening. That's one of the things I love most about our church, the local impact. If our church packed up and moved out overnight, all our campuses, people would notice in our local communities because of the difference that's being made. But the global impact, this really is fulfilling the call that Jesus gave us in Acts 1:8. Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. I'm so inspired to be a part of a church like this. I'm so inspired to be with people like you, doing ministry with you. Like I said, I told everybody, this isn't me. This isn't this team. This is this church that loves you, that's praying for you, that's partnering with you. It's you and the impact that you're making all over the world. So thank you for that. We're going to continue with our Africa Advent offerings, with the impact that we have, and with our partnerships, not just in Africa. We took 8 different mission trips so far this year, not including Mission Northwest, our student mission, local mission trip and week that we have that makes a huge impact. 8 different mission trips, over 100 people. In October, we have our Family Mission Day. We're going to be talking about all the missions that we do, which we don't talk about enough probably, all the missions that we do, and unveiling 8 new trips that we have. There's even more on the horizon. I highly encourage you to go on one of these trips. It will change your perspective of the world. It will broaden your perspective of what God is doing, and you will be inspired by these heroes of the faith. And I highly encourage you, when we get to Advent time, to give generously. I know there's a lot of expenses during the Christmas time, but you will never regret what you give to advance God's mission through these partners in Africa. Thanks for taking time to listen to this. If you have any questions about what we did while we were over there in Africa and saw, or what we're doing overall, this is an open book. We're not trying to hide anything. We want you to know everything that's going on there. So please feel free to ask. Let's continue to move the mission of God forward through these partners who are changing cultures, communities, and eternities. Thanks for listening.